Welcome to today's session number 9 in Ergonomics for Beginners Industrial Design Perspective. Now, this is under module 3, that is human physical dimension concerns, and out of 7 classes, today's session, there is a in total number of classes, this is 9th class. Here today we are going to discuss anthropometry and the basics of anthropometry, that is a human body growth and somatotyping. So, today just we will brief what we have discussed in last class. Last class we have discussed that measurements of body whole and parts in standard and different adopted postures are required for various design conceptualizations, and for that this type of anthropometric postures and the various measurements are necessary, that we will be discussing in details in coming classes. So, we have stressed upon the facts in last classes that we have assorted body sizes and shape, we have versatile nature of body, variations in human body dimensions, all human body dimensions are not same or similar, use of the own body in a meaningful way towards improvement of function, that is for our own benefit. So, with this today's the current session we shall discuss some aspects of our body itself and its growth pattern and body types based on our own structural framework. Now, this session we are going to discuss in main two parts. The first part is that growth and proportion of different body parts, the upright trunk, usage of body capacity, nature watch and body, designing for ease of human use, and anthropometric landmarks. And second part, body somatotypes, that is figure type and some facts related to that, figure type and fat content, and based on this fat content the figure types are determined normally. The figure types, there are 3 figure types like characteristics of endomorph, characteristics of mesomorph, characteristics of ectomorph, and population representations of somatotypes. After these 2 sessions, we are going to summarize whatever we are discussing today, that is people for whom we are concerned, and next session leading. Now, first phase or first of this discussion, our body growth and proportion. Human beings have assorted body sizes that we have discussed earlier, and rates of growth that follows certain patterns, but physical development from birth to adulthood does not show same proportional growth of all parts of the body. So, we have body parts of different proportions, it does not follow the same proportion always, and we are going to discuss how it helps us and how it really are there. Now, if we see the growth pattern of this, the left hand corner is that 1 year boy, the 1 year body, if we see the total head, trunk and other limbs And if we see the growth pattern, then in the 5 years, now if we see the 5 years and then 7 years, then 10 years male and female and adult male and female, there we can see that the heads, the head structures, head sizes, the proportion it follows, the trunk sizes, the proportion are not the same and the limbs are also not the same. And it is specifically seen that at the age of till 10th year, the male and female, this is a male body and this is the female body, not much difference are seen below that, and after that due to puberty and etc., the body type figure changes. And mostly it is seen that during adolescence, the girl's body growth is faster than the same aged boys. But after this adolescence period is over, then boy growth continues, and then finally we can see the structure of male and female different. Now, why we need to know this proportion knowledge? It is required because if we want to make a furniture kind of thing, suppose or maybe any specific design that below or around 10 years aged boys and girls are going to use that. So, there we may not consider the difference of body sizes, but after that maybe some specific requirements are necessary to consider. The basic structure and shape of the human body are identical among the human race all over the world, but sizes and proportion patterns in all body parts differ with different origin. Means a person of a specific location origin, it may differ, the different body proportions may differ from other source of origin people. So, when we are going to develop some product to accommodate that human body, we need to consider these target users groups body structure. The bone skeleton is the framework of the body, and all the vital organs and muscles around it have a skinny cover which combine to make a perfect human body. We cannot change our body because this is the fixed and assorted size with specific proportions. So, instead we can do design something that fits to our body. That would be our motto while attempting to develop some designs. Now, what is the specificity of our body structure than others, animals and etc. Now, if you see the basic difference between the human body and those of animals are the skilled movement patterns. We can adopt any body position that a task demands, which direct man's various parts of the body and are governed by higher thought process. Man stands, walks and works in an upright trunk position, and bilateral distribution from a center axis, the bilateral distribution of most of the body parts with a central axis consisting of the vertebral column and limbs helps the structure stand erect. and with this body structure we can perform some skillful movement that our varieties of tasks demand to adopt those postures. So, some benefit is there with our body, but some limitations are also there. So, while conceptualizing any design, we should consider those limitations so that some undue demand from our body is not created. Now, earlier we said that progress created some problems also. Now, progress and our body utilization, if we see, we can see that first we can say our body looks like designed for the type of life man led earlier. Limbs were mainly for survival. As for example, it can be said that for collecting food etc., and to run away from danger, but these are no more the only uses in the present day context. So, as per our life progress is there, we have created some specific movements that was not made for that, like in this computer and etc., in these cases. So, there are varieties of movements required that is our acquired skill with this same body that we have to consider. Now, due to the progress of civilization and the innovation of in lifestyles, man unconsciously and consciously adapts himself to new ways while using the same body and the spatial and physical capabilities. So, then what we should do now? New developments must consider these factors. Normally, we use only a portion of our total physical and mental capacity in our day-to-day life. Mostly in sports field, the situation is created such that we need to use some more things, but to lead normal life, we cannot expect that man should use his excess physical and mental capacity. So, we have to give comfort to them, and how it can be given, that new developments must consider these aspects. Now, from where we can get these informations and ideas? So, observe the nature to get ideas for human use for common design applications. Now, limitations of the skills of various creatures in nature and their specialized movements based on what they require for their survival are a very important means of increasing the skill used for our limited physical resources. So, the means and methods to understand, we need to observe natural phenomena. Excellence in motor performance has been the focus of research in sports nowadays, but in other design activities where it is not necessary, comfort is required, there we have to consider these limitations and etc. So, a requirement should be below this level. We need to understand how our body behaves and accordingly is designed made, it will be well accepted. A complex chain of physical movements requires a high level of neuromuscular coordination with a high level of strength and power. To attain that level, necessary training is required with full knowledge of biomechanics, medical and kinesiological sciences. So, for good design practice, if we see this figure, the developed product is a floor mopper. Now, how the design dimension of this machine is made according to this operator's physical body dimension, we may get some clue how human body should be used to while conceptualizing some design ideas. Now, today we are innovating various aids that can minimize or optimize the physical efforts and exertion that are required to use or operate. These aids are to be designed in such a manner that they should consider the normal physical skill of movement within comfortable limits, that is designed for ease of human use. How we can achieve this? If the product, the design dimension and human body geometry or dimension matches each other, then this is possible. So, we need to know human body itself in details, and that anthropometry part etc., we require to understand thoroughly. Now, if we are aware of the basic structural mechanism and various inbuilt facilities and limitations in shape, size, range of movement, that body range of movement that the human structure provides normally, we can apply these in various design concepts. Obviously, these innovations should be compatible with the human body. For that purpose, we must know our body structure in general. Anthropometric landmarks are necessary to understand. These landmarks are the external points of the body structure with their muscles and skinny covers on it, and these should be taken into consideration while making a design attempt. So, different body points etc., it should, these are the different landmarks. So, the height, length, depth and then breadth etc., are the different anthropometric parameters, and these different points in the body are the landmarks that we are going to discuss in next session in details. Now, we would like to go to the second stage of today's discussion, that is body somatotypes. And the body somatotypes are that how body looks like, lean, thin, fat and normal. How we can say that it is a normal body. So, for this we are going to discuss now the body somatotypes. Soma means body and types, body types. Now, some facts and figures, some facts and figure type. The human body is composed of 35 35% water and 65% solid in terms of its total body weight. So, 35% water and 65% solid C in terms of total body weight. Fat, muscles, bone and other minerals etc. form the solid part, that is the 65% of our total body weight. According to the proportions of fat, muscle and bone content, a range of body or figure types is formed. The final figure types are formed may be due to genetic reasons or acquired due to food habits, physical exercise, occupation, working habits and the influence of geographical locations or habitations. Why in a family a person suddenly becomes very fatty, or in a family everybody is fatty or lean and thin? Why it happens? It may be due to the genetic reasons or malfunction of genetic matter. Another can be said that due to food habits and etc. it may change. If a person used to work in a field where heavy manual work is necessary, there fat deposition will be less, so muscle content will automatically be more. So, then there will be less chance of becoming very fatty. But if a person becomes sedentary or less work, then there is a chance of getting fatty. So, these figure types may be genetic or acquired. Now, figure types are mostly depends on the fat content. Figure types are generally discussed in terms of body fat contents. Normally, a healthy male body contains about 12% to 15% of body fat and females about 25 to 35% of fat of their total body weight. This is normally. The physical appearance of this fat are due to subcutaneous deposition and distribution pattern in different body parts like abdomen, shoulder, thigh, etc., which give a female body a special softer appearance than males. Now, figure types. There are total 3 figure types: mesomorph, ectomorph and endomorph. Ectomorph is the lean and thin body types. So, fat content will be less relatively in comparison to bone and muscles. Endomorph is the fatty body type where fat content is very high, and mesomorph is that where the earlier said fat content is there, means normal muscular body type. Now, if we see this slide, here the descriptions are there that persons with muscular structure with normal fat content as above mentioned are called mesomorph, muscular body. Those bodies with less fat are called ectomorphs. Bodies with a high fat content are commonly termed endomorphs. The greater the fat content, the greater the obesity, and obesity comes from this endomorph body types. Now, lean thin body may be very extreme lean thin, fat may be extreme fatty body. Now, how we can rate this? Now, the extreme mesomorph, ectomorph and endomorph, here fat, muscle and bone content is that. The Sheldon in 1940 has described somatotyping by 3 numericals with a 7-degree scale for each component, fat, muscle and bone. An extreme endomorph, fatty, is designated as 711, means relatively 7 in this 7-degree scale rating. 7 is the fat, 1 muscle, 1 bone. An ideal mesomorph, as by rating 1 fat, 7 muscle and 1 fat, and an extreme ectomorph lean thin body as 117, means 1 rating for fat, 1 rating for muscle, 7 rating for bone, with each numerical indicating the fat, muscle and bone components. Now, while designing specifically for individuals and groups of users with extreme somatotypes, their special physical characteristics must be considered. Now, these also affect their volume dimensions, length, breadth, depth, and are reflected in their ease of movement. Means lean thin person, that ectomorph, they will have more range of movement. They, as subcutaneous fat is very less, so heat resistance will be some problem there. Fatty person, their movement range will be less, as more fat is there in subcutaneous layer. So, heat resistance will be just opposite than that ectomorph like. So, if we want to employ this person in certain area where a specific design he has to operate, machine has to operate, or in a special environment he has to work with heat and etc. So, how to select manpower for that? What type of body figure would be preferable? That is the concern for these discussions. Now, if we see the extreme figure types, now an extreme endomorphic appearance, fatty. Now, we can see the figures front, side and back. The figures looks like this for male and for females, like that. Now, what problems and they have? The characteristics of the endomorph, specific characteristics of fatty people. The whole figure tends to be round and has an infantile look because of excess fat storage in both males and females. The end of the limbs have a tendency to be held away from the body. When they stand, the hands are normally outside. Just as we can say, see in this figure, now see the hands are going outer side. there is definitely a problem of an imbalanced gait while walking, resulting in an inability to engage in speedy movement, and also movement of the whole body is restricted due to the reduction of the range of the body joint movements. Fine controlled movement of the whole body and the different body parts coordination movement is drastically restricted with this type of body figure, means endomorph fatty body figure, because coordinated body part movements are fewer. Now, if we see the mesomorph, the normal body figure, this figure shows towards common mesomorphic appearance. Now, it can be said that it is squarish type of body figure, limbs and etc. are vertically placed, stand erect, both for males and for females. Now, what is the speciality of extreme or the characteristics of the mesomorph? It appears to be regular, bilaterally well balanced and firm body. It could be described as a muscular body with normal fat content and with equal amount of muscles and bones. Movements are well coordinated in all the limbs and in the body as a whole. Now, we will see some figures towards an extreme ectomorphic appearance, lean and thin. Lean and thin. So, these are the for females, male, front, side, backwards, not very graceful standing posture, and for female also. Now, specifically characteristics of ectomorph is that the full body appears to be skinny, lean and thin, fragile and weak. The fat and muscle content are very limited. Bones and bony joints are prominent. Movement patterns in joints cover a wide range, but not efficient, because muscles are less. Ungainly abnormal posture are usually adopted in general while standing and even while sitting. So, these are the specific body figure types and their specialities. So, we need to consider this when we are trying to develop some design to fit a specific target group. Now, in a common population, how the representation of somatotypes are there? Whether in a specific group population everybody is very fatty or lean and thin or normal, or what would be the distribution normally. For that, there are three types mentioned above constitute the typical classifications of body types. In reality, most of the population appears to have a mixed type of physique. Some parts of the body of a person may show a tendency towards one somatotype characteristic, while the main structure may be a different type. In this figure, we can say that this portion, while it may give a very endomorphic, sometimes in some body figure it may be that legs or limbs may be narrower, may not be like that. In certain cases it is seen that the belly portion, the abdomen is very thick and buttock is very thick, but head portion and other limbs are not like that. So, in a same body different types of body figure characteristics presence is also possible, not only in a population group, but in a single body figure it is also possible, and accordingly we have to design for their use. Now, for Indian population, what is its relevance? A normal mesomorphic may show an abdomen and waist area of an endomorphic nature, and this cannot be considered as an exception or abnormality. Experience has shown that visual rating for most of the Indian population seems to be fat with that 7-degree scale described by Sheldon, 5 to 3, muscle in 5 to 3 and bone 4 to 3. It is just a visual rating. Common healthy men can be said to have ratings of 3, 5, 3, 3 rating for fat, 5 rating for muscle, 3 rating for bone commonly, and for females it will be fat 5 ratings, 3 muscles and 3 ratings for bones. By this we can say that population representation of somatotype specifically for Indian appearances in common. Now, somatotype comparison. The activity pattern of the above 3 typical somatotypes, namely endomorph, mesomorph and ectomorph, differ from each other. The mesomorphic body type is more action oriented and athletic type. In an endomorph physique means fatty, the range of movements is lesser than in an ectomorph physique because of the excess storage of fat, but in both cases means ectomorph lean thin and endomorph fatty, flexing and extension activity are lower than that of mesomorphs, who look firm and muscular. For lean thin person, for less muscle, for fatty body type, endomorph, not so effective muscles, this is happening. Endomorphs are prone to quick fatigue after physical work, because inside the generated heat is not going out properly due to the thick fat content on the skin. This has various physiological reasons. One of the causes may be the high resistance capacity of the heat transfer between inside and outside the body, and it is regulated with the presence of fat layer. Ectomorphs also show a weak performance due to less muscle mass and less resistance to ambient heat because of their thin skin. Now, what is the design implications of somatotypes? Therefore, Designers should keep these body figure types and their respective limitations in mind while designing for the masses. Whether a same single type of design good for ectomorph, if we present in a society or a population, whether other type of body figures will get same comfort or we need to think something on that. The characteristics of the intended users must be analyzed in terms of somatotyping to dimension the product for their use and for their workspaces, so that these can be applicable to entire population or while selecting a product range for the specific region of a market. Now, a specific observation, tentative we can say that there may be many reasons for the different body structures. It has been observed that normally the city dwellers are well built and are inclined more towards endomorphism, fatty types, than the village population in India. It is a common observation. It may be due to lifestyle. Now, design implication is that if a park as shown in this figure, in this park the entry, this gate, while in a whirling gate, what would be the size of this space, so that a body can go in, can have a circular movement and can go that side. What would be the space requirement here? For that, if we decide a body dimension based on ectomorphic lean thin body type, then a fatty person cannot go in. If we take the extreme fatty type, then it would be excess dimension given, because in that population may be very few extreme cases that fat persons are there. So, for general purpose it will be unnecessarily more, so that the purpose of this gate to selectively allow persons to go in, that will be lost. So, here the thing is that we have to properly judge the population group with these figure types and take the range of figure types we need to allow to pass through this, and accordingly the range of body dimension should be considered. Now, age and sex variations are also to be looked into. A myth is that we can say in a certain part of India, ladies have a thick buttock. In certain places, it may not be like that. Now, if we want to make a special design where both the groups are expected to use, then what to be done? Or the myth is that we say all men are very tall. So, if we want to take a dimension where the person needs to cross accommodating the body height, take only the male figures in a certain group, it may not also be proper, because in that population we measured the maximum height we got. In some other population, some ladies may have taller than that. In other ways, the body circumference may not be same, or we cannot say that okay, it is always larger in a aged lady than a young man, it is also not true. So, depending, so age and sex and the specific causes has to be considered. Now, obesity in men starts at middle age when the abdomen protrudes. The same for female. In the females, the weight increases mainly at the hip and waist areas. So, the body figure type also different in different persons, male and female also, and age wise. Means what happens? While males grow in the abdomen part when they are growing older, the ladies they have the hip and waist. Now, with this another example of design we need to consider. In this right hand corner this figure, it says that while designing a shirt, now hence while designing any personal equipment or even a garment, say for men a shirt, it would be better if it is slightly longer in the front. These two are not the same size. This is little longer than this one in front. Then at the back to cover the bulged abdomen. So, then what happens? If we wear this, it will be the same height, it will be seen like this. For ladies, the same similar principle or similar matter can also be considered while talking about their waist and hip area. Now, with this, now we are coming to the concluding session. The summary to lead the next class. Whatever we discussed today, what is the summary? Now, people for whom we are concerned or designing, their body growth and body type. First is that people like to see themselves well built and fit with maximum range of motion in joints, and this user image association with a design development program bears the same mindset. Whereas, we all greatly differ from that image of so called standard body. It is very difficult to say what is standard body. There are variations of body sizes that do not always conform to perfect symmetry and proportions among body parts. Sometimes to overcome those unwanted features, we overdo clothing and use varieties of decorations which in turn affect in negative ways in movement and etc. in our body. So, our design activity must consider various body types and limitations thereby. Our design activities are to aid all the users, not a specific group of population or a specific group of figure type, rather than making a design and then asking them to fit in. means first see a target group, what is their body type, and then design to fit. But if we design something for a specific body type and then ask other body type to fit in, it will be difficult. So, these matter we need to consider, and specifically designers must look into this aspect. And these are the ergonomic aspects, means to make human compatible design solutions. These are the scientific backups of that. Now, next class we are going to discuss, that is the session number, class number 10, anthropometry landmarks, specifically for static and dynamic sit stand postures. Basically, this we are going to discuss next day, where specifically we look into the next session. We shall discuss anthropometric landmarks, means different body points of these locations, and then height, then length, breadths, circumferences and depths, etc. we will discuss in next class. So, with this we are concluding today's session. Thank you.